All right, Mac users, here you go. Here is the Mac version of SongSurgeon, and this is version 3. Whether it is standard or pro, it will look the same. I'm going to work with the pro version here today and give you a highlight or an overview video of just one of the features here, and we'll try to highlight different features a couple of times a week over the next few weeks as we lead up to the launch of this. We're still not quite ready for beta testing. We've got a couple more little things we're working out, but we'll be into beta testing soon, and we should be in a position to launch this sometime in January. So today I wanted to talk about looping and setting loop points and how we do that. And in the Pro version, one of the very nice features that is unique to the Pro version, and as far as I know is not found in any other slowdown type of software, is that you can set multiple loops. So we can set 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 different loop points. And the purpose of loop points really are to help you sort of isolate individual pieces or sections of a song so you can learn them better. And so on some songs, maybe you only are interested in an introductory solo, so you only need one loop point. But on many songs, you might have an intro and outro. There might be a chorus part of it that you want to learn, and so there's a need to set up loop points. And the way we do that in the Mac version is identical to the Windows version, and that is we use our mouse. Actually, we can do it a couple of ways, but the simplest way is by using our mouse. And if we go up here into this waveform area and we simply left click, we set a beginning loop point, which right now is yellow, and then we right click to set the ending loop point. And once we do that, you'll see that the yellow has turned to green, so it signifies green as the beginning and red as the end. And we can do that not only one time, but as I mentioned, we can do this, set up a second one, we can set up a third one, and we can just keep doing this and set up as many as we would like. Now, one of the other things that you're probably interested in knowing is that another way to help you set these is that you can actually listen as the song is playing, and when you get to the point in time that you hear the place that you like to set a loop, you can click the start button down here, and that will insert the beginning loop point, and then you let it continue to play, and when you hear the end of the section that you'd like to set a loop around, you click the end, and that is yet another way to set these. And then, of course, once they're set, you may need to fine-tune them, and that's where this zooming really comes in. So let's say we're going to go over here to this L6 or loop 6, and let's say we want to fine-tune these loop points a little more. So I'm going to click 20, which means I'm going to zoom in to approximately the 20-second interval. So if you look here, we go from about 1 minute and 59 seconds to 2 minutes and 19 seconds. So we are essentially have 20 seconds on the screen, and that's what these increments are down here. If I click on 10, it zooms us in even closer, and that means that we've got 10 seconds on the screen. And of course, if I go down to 2 or I go down to 1, we've got 1 second of data on the screen. So you can zoom in as much as you need to get the precision that you're looking for. Let's say that you want to move this slightly because based upon what you're hearing, it's a little past the end of where it should be. So we can go ahead and left click on this and grab it with our mouse, and we can simply drag it. And let's say that we'd like it right there. So we let go of it, and now we more precisely set that ending loop point. And of course, we can do that with any of these loops, but that just shows you how you can grab a particular loop point and you can slide it, and that's how you can adjust it. And the zooming in is very helpful to get the precision that you may be looking for. Another thing about these loop points that I'd like to point out, and this again is something unique to SongSurgeon and to SongSurgeon Pro, is that each loop area has settings that can be customized. So in this first case, we've got an L4, as it's called up here at the top. We could change the tempo on this down to 50%. And then we could go to loop 5, and we could change the tempo on this down to 20%, and then we could go to loop 6 and we could change this tempo to 75%. So depending upon what you require for each of these sections, some you may need to slow down more than others if you're trying to learn them, you can customize each of the looping areas to meet your needs. And not only can you customize it by changing pitch or tempo, but the other thing that you can do is when you have a cursor, or I should say this white line, which is the progress indicator, that's inside of one of these loops, it means that particular loop area is selected. If you click the edit button, you'll see a couple of pretty neat features here. First of all, here yet again is a way in which we can more precisely fine-tune the settings up here for beginning and end, or start and end. And as well, you could change pitch and tempo, but I want to call your attention to the playback parameters down here at the bottom. The loop count is -1, which means indefinite, which means that as long as we start this playing and we're within inside of this looping boundaries, it will loop continuously. And the delay means that as soon as it gets to the end, it automatically repeats. Now what we can do, and again, you can do this for each of these loops individually, is we could change the loop count. We could say we want to loop 10 times and then we want it to jump out of the loop and continue playing. So if we set that at 10, that means it will loop 10 times. The delay is a delay in seconds, and that means that once we get to the end of this loop, meaning this red line here, as opposed to automatically jumping back immediately and starting to replay, if you want some extra time to sort of think about what you've just heard, to get your hands or positions back in, I should say, to get your hands or your fingers back in position, you might want to have a delay of, let's say, 5 seconds once you hit the end of that. So you can go ahead and change these parameters, click OK, and now when this plays, what it's going to do is that it's going to play back, it's going to hit the end of the loop, and it's going to pause, and then it's going to jump back to the beginning and play again. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Now we hit the end. Now it's delaying or pausing. Jump back to the beginning, and now it's playing again. Hit the end. Now it's pausing. Now it jumped back to the beginning and is playing again. So it's doing exactly what we said it would do. Not surprising, that's the way it's supposed to work. And of course, you'll note that it is playing back at 75% as it's indicated here. So that's going to do it. I want to try to keep this reasonably short, but this shows you one of the features within SongSurgeon Pro, and that is how you set multiple loop points and how you customize each set of loop points to meet your specific needs. So that will conclude this brief presentation for today. Thanks for your time. Bye.